So this summer sees the return of some major international tournaments. We're talking about the Copa America and, of course, European 2020. And you can catch a lot of coverage of that over here on this channel. But, of course, the cream of the crop is the World Cup, boys and girls. And actually, around the globe, qualification process has already begun. And we're going to take a look at that out in South America with the road to Qatar. And, of course, early predictions. Let's roll. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. This time we're taking a very early look at the old South American World Cup qualifying campaign, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash the old subscribe button to get you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, World Football related, World Cup related. We got it all here, baby, under Waroski. Now, before we jump into it, I'm going to say a big shout out to my Patreons, boys and girls. Respect to your brothers for stepping on board and supporting the channel. I'm talking about Aztec Marky B. Mark, Constable 1976, LG and Cal, Mitchell Shoney, obviously the legend that's John Spurn, Tom Beresford, and of course Tom Clark. Welcome to the Patreon gangs. Much respect to you, brother. If you want to join that illustrious gang and join this VIP club, there is a link to the Patreon in the old description down below. But we are talking about early door predictions for the World Cup out in Qatar 2022. It starts in March for South America. It's already started over in Asia. We'll take a look at those once it gets to a little bit more finer details. But just like every year over in South America, or every World Cup, it's a big old one group to rule them all. Top 4 go through. The 5th go through to a playoff to see if they can make it 5 teams. But anyway, we're going to take an early look at it because it starts in less than a month's time, or just over a month's time. So let's talk about it a little bit first before we get into it. So yes, these are the nations that will occupy the group. Argentina and obviously former winners. That's Bolivia. Brazil, obviously 5 times winners. Chile are in there. That must be Colombia. Then we have Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru. Obviously, they were there last time out. Joining them will be Uruguay and one team that's never made it to the World Cup, Venezuela. That's right. Can they make it this time around? Well, let's take a look at some of some statistics for you before we head into this. This is some of the breakdowns for you. Brazil actually been there, forever presence in the old World Cup, 21 appearances. So they've been there since the get-go from 1930, yet to miss a beat. They actually won it in 1958, 62, 70, 94, 2002. It's been a while. So maybe, just maybe, this is the year, or this will be the tournament that they do the deed. Argentina are second best team, I guess, out of the South American contingent. 17 appearances in the tournament. They've been there the past 12. They made their debut back in 1930, winning it in 1978 and 86. Uruguay also 2-time winners, winning it in 1930 and 50. They've been in there 13 times. They're running on a streak of 3. They're back there 3 tournaments in a row. Chile didn't make the last time out, so they were in the 2014 World Cup last time out. Their best ever spot was a 3rd place in 1962. Paraguay also haven't been there since 2010, hoping to change that this time around. Colombia, they've been on the rise, Colombia, as a nation. Quarterfinals in 2014, so maybe they can do a little bit special this time around. Back-to-back tournaments for them. Their first ever one was back in 1962. Peru, they've been there 5 times. Last time was their most recent, 2018. Their best ever performance was in the quarterfinals in 1978. Bolivia haven't been there since 1994. That was the one in USA, boys and girls. They made it to the first round, which was the group stages. Ecuador haven't been there since 2014. They've only been to 3 tournaments as a whole, making it to the knockout stages in 2006. Any more for you? No. We're going to just jump straight into the action here and take a little look at these are my early door predictions. Now, what we're going to do, I thought about this over the Christmas break and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to try and cover not just Euro 2020 fixtures and all that kind of stuff. I'm opening this a can of worms there, boys, and taking a look at major international games across the board. We're going to look at the Asian Cup again, qualifying campaigns and all this kind of stuff, Oceania, all these other stuff when they come around. But we're going to start it here, right here, with the early door predictions for the South American nations for Qatar 2020. So the first ever game will be of the qualifying campaign. It was 26th of March. So let's get going and take a little look at them. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'll talk about maybe a little bit about the nations and stuff like that. For example, Uruguay. Still one of the major powerhouses in South America at the moment, and I do expect them to boss this qualifying campaign and be in that final four. But will they get there? We'll take a little look. So they open up their campaign with a tricky one against Chile on this first match day, 26th of March 2020. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. I'm going to plough through them because they have played each other a fair few times. I think they played each other twice. There's 10 nations. That's 18 games, I think. So we're going to have to fly through this because I don't want it to dwell on a bit. We're already chomping at the bit here. Colombia will take on Venezuela, same match day as well. I'm going with a 2-0 home win on this one. Brazil against Bolivia, again, no problems there. I see this from one of the favourites for the title. 3-1 win in the end. I'll go over the odds as well with these before I do the reveal at the end. So 3-1 win for Brazil on this one. Paraguay, I've got a soft spot for Paraguay. They have an ex-rover who's still in contention for maybe getting to the Copa America squad this season, but he's getting on a bit. Roque Santa Cruz. I don't know if they're going to be in the mix to qualify here, but I have a soft spot. 2-2 draw in this one against Peru at home. If you get a point, or if you get more than a point from your A game, I think you're in good stead. Argentina against Ecuador, comfortable win for them as well on match day number 1. Ploughing forward into match day number 2, not too long after match day number 1, same month. So after the month of March, we'll have a small insight of what's going on in that qualifying campaign. I'm going to go with a Peru, Brazil, one tricky one. This one, going to go with a 2-2 draw on this one. It'll continue an unbeaten start there for Peru. 2 draws on the spin. Brazil also unbeaten with a win and a draw so far. Venezuela up against Paraguay. We talked about Venezuela haven't qualified so far. They'll get themselves a win here with a 1-0 win against my little soft spot, Paraguay. I say I'm butchering that name. I know, it's Paraguay. So 1-0 win for Venezuela. Get themselves up and at them. Paraguay just the 1 point so far at the 2 games. Bolivia will take on Argentina. Another tricky one. I'm going to go with Bolivia on this one. Obviously, Argentina, one-man band still. Will Messi being part of this qualifying campaign? I think it will have a huge significance of what goes on in the Copa America. If Argentina are victorious in the Copa America or do a very good performance team-wise, then we might see Messi stick around for this qualifying campaign. It's not long away. So we'll have an insight into that. I'm sure he'll take part in these games, these early. But will he be there to? I'm sure if he starts it, he'll want to see it out. So yeah. Going over with Bolivia victory, though. A bit of an upset on that one. Chile will beat Colombia again. Another upset. So they get themselves up and running. Chile losing their first game, coming back in into this one. A 2-0 win at home. Colombia losing this one, obviously opening up their campaign with a 2-0 win. They can't win them all, folks. Well, you never know. Ecuador also will get a draw on this one to make it just a 1 point for them. Uruguay will remain unbeaten after a opening win and a draw. So it looks like at the start of match day 2, or the end of match day 2, no team is 100%. Already the streaks are broken. Colombia will take on Uruguay in the match day number 3. Now that's a bit of a gap between those match day 2 and 3, or a 6-month gap it looks like, or maybe 5 months, all the way into September now. 3rd of September. Colombia against Uruguay. Belter this one. Going to go with a 6-goal thriller on this one in favour of Colombia. Obviously they are blessed with some talents, especially at home as well. That'll make it 2 wins on the spin at home, but also get themselves back to winning ways as well. Uruguay will suffer their first defeat on this one, obviously picking up a point against Ecuador and also picking up a victory against Chile on day 1, match 1. Brazil will get back to winning ways as well with a 4-0 demolition of Venezuela. Doesn't look like they're getting anywhere anytime soon, but they've also, you know what, they'll be content with their start. Venezuela with a 1-0 win against Paraguay, get themselves, if they can keep their home form going, they might get themselves something in the end, because 5th spot is what they'll be aiming for, and maybe get themselves into that playoffs. Bolivia will take on Ecuador. This one's a tough one to call. I'm going to give it to Bolivia on this one as well. 2-1 win. Back-to-back wins for them, so they'll get themselves a good advantage in the early stages of this qualifying campaign. Argentina will take on Paraguay over in Buenos Aires, possibly 2-0 win for Argentina. So that's back-to-back home wins for them. Obviously, they lost to Bolivia earlier, but this will get them back on the right track and maybe get themselves steady for qualification for the World Cup. Chile against Peru, difficult one to end this little bracket here, but I'm going to go with a 5-goal barnstormer in favour of Chile. Still got some decent players in there. Sanchez, still probably of a decent age for them heading into 2022, the World Cup there. So, you know what, we'll see if Chile can hang on in there. Into the next match day number 4 here, same month, September. Uruguay against Brazil, tough one this one. Going to go with the Uruguay at home, 3-1 advantage for Uruguay again. That gets puts them in good shape. Brazil also, is that the 2nd defeat so far? Peru and then take on Argentina over in Lima. 2-0 win for Peru, taking another win there. Argentina taking a little knock themselves. Venezuela against Chile will get themselves another win, another spot or potential to get themselves moving closer to possibly qualification. Paraguay against Bolivia. We're going to go with a 1-0 win for Paraguay. Ecuador will wrap up match day 4 against Ecuador, and it'll be a 2-2 draw. Positive point for Colombia, the only team really to get anything away from home in that match day. Into match day number 5, Colombia against Brazil. Back-to-back losses for Brazil, so maybe a bit of a rough patch here, but Colombia at home are going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think, throughout this qualifying campaign. And I'll be surprised if they lose many, if any, at home. Venezuela take on Ecuador. Going to go with Venezuela as well. Maybe this is their year, so fantastic response for them. But back-to-back home wins for Venezuela on this one, 2-1 win. Bolivia against Peru. Difficult one, this one. Bolivia, back in 1994 when they made it, it might have been a one-chance wonder for them. I think I remember Marco Echeverri, one of the standout players for them. They also had a Middlesbrough had a player for Bolivia back in the day. Can't remember his name, but he was a decent player. I think you're a Middlesbrough fan. You'll recall him, especially if you're of my age. Anyway, so I'm going to go with a Peru win on this one. Obviously, they still have a lot of their quality players that got themselves into the World Cup in Russia, and I still think they're going to be going to cause them problems. And they are going to be in that competition for that 5th spot, and especially with a victory here against Bolivia. Argentina against Uruguay. Difficult one, this one, but Argentina will get back to winning ways with a 2-1 win. Uruguay beating Brazil last time out, but couldn't do the double, especially away from home. So 2-1 for Argentina. And Chile will take a point against Paraguay, who are proving to be difficult opposition this time around. Uruguay will then open up match day number 6 against Bolivia with a 3-2 half-court victory. So that makes it 2 wins out of 3 games for them heading into this. Peru also get themselves another victory, so that's 3 wins on the spin for Peru, looking very, very good, hitting tip-top form as we enter match day number 6, or exited match day number 6. Brazil will get back to winning ways as well with a 6-goal barnstormer over Argentina. So Brazil get back to winning ways, stopping a 2-game losing streak, but bringing it back at home. Paraguay against Bolivia will end up as a 3-1 win for Colombia away from home. So big victory for them, and that is 3 games unbeaten at least on this one. And Ecuador will take on Chile, and that'll end up all square with a 2-2 draw. Chile just grinding out a couple of points over this 3-game spread. Into November we go. Match day number 7 now. It's Uruguay up against Paraguay. Going to go with a 3-0 win for the former winners to get themselves another win, another 3 points. And again, a bit of a stranglehold of possibly getting themselves into that top 4. Peru against Colombia. It'll also be a big result for Peru, this one. Colombia are looking decent, but Peru are just grinding out some home results that could get them in the conversation big time. Brazil, comfortable win against Ecuador on the 12th of November as well. Bolivia will take a point against Venezuela, and Argentina will take 3 against Chile by scoring 3 in the middle of November. Also, match day number 8, we'll see Colombia against Argentina. There'll be another victory for Colombia, getting back to wins, but there'll be a defeat for Argentina away from home. Venezuela against Uruguay will be a 1-1 draw, so 4 points out of possible 6 there for Uruguay on that little spread. Paraguay against Brazil will also end square, 4 points out of a possible 6 for Brazil. Chile will take on Bolivia, and they'll end up as a 2-1 win, so back to winning ways for Chile. They haven't picked up that many wins so far in this qualifying campaign, in my eyes anyway. Ecuador, obviously losing to Brazil last time out, will pick up a point against Peru, who look decent according to my eyes, and very, very much in the conversation for qualification. Then after November is another bit of a gap. We go into 2021, and it's the final hurdle here. Obviously from here on in, it's a straight shot, 6-month qualification blitz heading at you. It'll be Peru against Uruguay. It'll be 1-0 win for Peru over in Peru, home with victory for Peru. And in this spread here, they're unbeaten in 3 games, so they're looking decent right now. Venezuela will get a 2-2 draw against Argentina at home. Again, doing back-to-back draws, and 3 draws on the spin for Venezuela in my eyes. Bolivia will take on Colombia over in Bolivia, and it'll be a 3-1 win for Colombia. Again, back-to-back wins for them, 6 points out of the possible 9 this spread here. And Chile will take on Brazil, and they also take a victory. So that's 2 wins on the spin for Chile, so 6 points out of a possible 9. Same can be said for Brazil. No, Brazil actually got this spread 4 points out of a possible 9. And wrapping up the 5 games in this match day number 9, it will be Ecuador, 2-1 winners over Paraguay. If you could see it, I've just realised I've been blocking it the whole time. Next up into match day number 10, it is Blumenek. Match day number 10 is Uruguay up against Ecuador. It's a 3-0 win for Uruguay. Again, home win for them. That's massive in the grand scheme of things. Colombia will take a 2-2 draw against Chile. Hard 4 point for Chile away from home. Brazil will beat Peru 3-1. Paraguay will take a 1-0 win against Venezuela. And Argentina will wrap up the month of March with a 3-0 win over Bolivia to take home the 3 points, massive 3 points as well, because they have not been picking up the wins, if my eyes are correct. Into the month of March we go, and a very, very stodgy next few months here. Uruguay up against Colombia. It's a 3-0 win as well. Back-to-back 3-0 wins for Uruguay. Back-to-back home wins as well. Peru, obviously they lost the last time after a nice little run on the previous set of fixtures. They'll take on Chile, and they'll get back to winning ways with a 2-1 win at home. Venezuela against Brazil. Must win, or must get something out of this one. Venezuela still doing bits at home as well, with a 1-1 draw against Brazil. Paraguay will take another 3 points over Argentina. Again, be in the conversation, perhaps, for that 5th spot. Ecuador will take on Bolivia on match day number, what is this now, 11. Wrapping it up with a 2-0 win as well. Not been many wins for Ecuador or Bolivia, if we are honest with you. Into match day number 12, I believe. Colombia against Ecuador. A 3-0 win for Colombia after 2 games without a win at least. Brazil will take on Uruguay at home. Brazil picking up a point last time out and a win against Peru 2 games back. It will be a 2-1 win for Uruguay, who heading into this on the back of 2 successive 3-0 wins. Sorry. Bolivia against Paraguay, must win game for either of these sides, really, if they're going to get into the conversation of that top 5. But it ends with a draw. And Argentina against Peru, this is a sticky wicket, but Argentina will sidestep it and pick up 2 wins out of that 3-game stretch there. And then wrapping up match day number 12, it will be Chile against Venezuela. It'll be a 2-0 win for Chile, and that'll be another 3 points in the coffers. Into the month of September now, we are heading into the final blitz. I think I don't know if it's final 6-game stretch or final 3-game stretch. I've lost count. But anyway, it's Uruguay up against Argentina, and it's going to go a 2-1 win in favour of Uruguay. This is match day number 13. Peru take on Bolivia, also match day number 13. It'll be a 2-2 draw. Peru picking up a point. Bolivia probably a massive point for them, but if they were to pick up a victory, they would have been in the conversation. Brazil will take on Colombia. It'll be a 3-0 win for Brazil at home. No problems asked there. Paraguay against Chile. It'll be a 2-1 win, going the other way. Surprise on the cards here. Chile pick up an away win, and Ecuador will take on Venezuela and end up all square with a 2-2 draw. Also in the month of September is match day number 14. It'll be Colombia up against Paraguay. I believe it's 14. Don't quote me on it. It'll be a 2-1 win for Colombia. Obviously coming into this on the back of the Brazil defeat, they'll try and get themselves back in the conversation, or comfortably in the conversation. Venezuela will take on Peru. It'll be a 2-1 win for Venezuela. Unbeaten run for them. Looks like to be starting. Bolivia up against Uruguay. Bolivia picking up a draw against Peru. They'll lose though against Uruguay. Back-to-back wins for them, and they look decent. I think if my photographic memory, which I don't have one, but if it is, it looks like Uruguay are on point for qualification. Argentina against Brazil. This is a belter. 5-goal thriller in favour of Argentina. They'll snatch it, and that'll be a good boost for them, because I don't think they've done that very well. Chile against Ecuador. 2-1 win for Chile to get themselves to the 3 points. Back-to-back wins for them, massive as well. And they take on Argentina here could make it 3 wins on the spin. Into the month of October we go. It is Colombia, who won 1 and lost 1 out of the past 3, up against Peru, who've also picked up the 1 point. It's a difficult one, but I'm going to go with Colombia to take back-to-back home wins on this one. And again, look very, very good to be assured of a qualification spot. Venezuela against Bolivia. Unbeaten run, at least 2 games, a draw and a win. They'll have won another one, so that'd be 7 points out of a possible 9 there for Venezuela. Good chance here to get themselves into the conversation. Uruguay did beat Bolivia. They also beat Argentina. Can they beat Paraguay? No, they cannot. Paraguay taking the victory here. This is the hopefully, I don't know if it's not the penultimate game. We're getting there. Chile take on Argentina. Chile make it 3 wins on the spin right there. 2-1 against Paraguay, 2-1 against Ecuador, and 2-0 against Argentina. And then also, we're going to kick it or end it with Ecuador against Brazil. 1-1 in the end. Brazil not really having the best of run-ins here. Just the 4 points out of a possible 6. This is the final stretch right here. It is the final 3 games. I think if you get 9 out of 9, you're in it. You're in it like Flynn. So Uruguay will take on Venezuela. This is also middle of October. It's a 3-0 win for Uruguay. So great start for them in this final run. In Peru take on Ecuador. They also get themselves a win with a 2-1 win over at home. Brazil take on Paraguay. Should be a stone cold home win. 2-0 in the end. Bolivia against Chile. If Bolivia wins this, they're in the mix. They don't. So Chile pick up a victory away from a massive result for them. Argentina against Colombia. This could go either way, but I'm going to give it to Argentina with a 3-1 win as well. Into the 11th of the 11th, and Remembrance Day, folks. Penultimate game for all 10 nations. Uruguay will go on against Peru. 2 wins out of 2, it looks like, for them, with a 2-1 win over Peru. Peru losing this one, picking up a 3-pointer last time out. Colombia did lose to Argentina. They'll need to get back to winning ways, which they do against Bolivia with a 2-0 win in the end. Brazil did beat Paraguay in that first game. They'll take on Chile, and they'll win as well. Chile losing. So far, Uruguay and Brazil on 2-game winning runs. Paraguay against Ecuador. Paraguay losing last time out against Brazil. Ecuador losing to Peru. Big game for both of these sides. Paraguay with a 2-1 win. Into the final stretch now. Argentina take on Venezuela. They did beat Colombia 3-1. They'll beat Venezuela 3-1. Into the final game. Who's got it to lose? I think everyone must. It's must win for everybody because of the amount of points that you could accumulate in this one. Every win is massive, especially in this one. Peru against Paraguay. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Peru. So they win 2 at the past 3. So 6 points out of 9. Not too shabby, folks. Venezuela will take on Colombia. And Venezuela obviously losing the past 2 against Argentina and Uruguay will need to win this one, which they won't. They'll pick up a draw. Bolivia up against Brazil. Bolivia have had an absolute shit show here, but they did, no, they've just had a nightmare. They'll lose 3 on the spin here, and they will not be in the consideration. I can even tell you right now, they're not in the consideration. Chile will take on Uruguay. This is a difficult one. Chile heading into this 1 win out of the past 2. They'll make it 2 wins out of that 2. Uruguay will slip up there, and then Ecuador will beat Argentina to put a can of whoop ass on this qualifying campaign. Now, what has that done to the table? Who will be going to Qatar, and who will be playing the waiting game in that 5th spot, and who is going to stay right at home? Well, let's get going, folks, and take a look from 10 to number 1. Let's get it on. So in at number 10 spots, going absolutely nowhere in my eyes, in my early door predictions for the South American qualifying campaign, is Bolivia, just winning twice along the way, losing 13 times, drawing 3, scoring just 16 goals, 9 points on the board. So they're not going anywhere. Joining them and not going anywhere will be Ecuador, even though they last gasp victory against Argentina. It doesn't do anything for them, but has it done anything for somebody else? Has it caused a bit of a problem for Argentina themselves? So 15 points on the board. They won 3 times, 6 draws, 9 defeats along the scoring a fair few goals as well. In the 8th spot, it'll be Paraguay. They're not making it. They're not making it this year. 5th in the table. Sorry, 5 wins, 4 draws, 9 defeats, 19 points. A 4-point gap over Ecuador in at number 8. In at number 7 is Venezuela. That's right. So 21 points on the board for Venezuela. 5 wins, 7 defeats, 6 draws. So we're left with the power 6 now. We know the Brazil's in there. We know Colombia's in there. We know Uruguay's in there. Argentina, Peru, and obviously Chile. Those are the guys. Obviously Chile missed out last time. I think Argentina, did they squeeze through in the number 5th spot? Okay, folks. So who is in at number 1, eh? Who's in at number 1? Well, piece of piss, right? Brazil coming into this top of the table. 34 points on the board. 10 wins, 4 defeats, 4 draws along the way. Scoring 38 goals in the process. Who will be joining them in Qatar in 2022? It will be Colombia. That's right. 5 defeats for them. 10 wins, 33 points on the board. Yeah, not as many goals as them. Along them will be Chile. That's right. Yeah, same points as Colombia. Just a little less goal difference to put them into 3rd spot. So now here we go. Who's joining them? Who's going to be in that 4th spot? Who's going in the playoffs? And who is staying at home? Well, I'll tell you, in 4th spot, it is Uruguay. That's right. They're going through to Qatar. They squeaked in there, 32 points on the board. Just 2 points separate top and 4th there. It is very, very tight. 6 defeats for Uruguay along the way. So here we go. It is the final 2. So one of them is going into the playoffs. One of them is staying at home. It's Argentina. It's Peru. But which way is it? It is Argentina will go to the playoffs once again on goal difference. How shocking is this? 8 defeats for Argentina, 4 points adrift of Uruguay. Peru will not be going to Qatar in my eyes. That's what I think about it. What do you guys think about your early door predictions out in South America? If you want to take part in doing something like this, there is I'll put the link to the website in there. It's a fantastic website. I use it for a lot of my predictions. This is none the same. It does all the maths for you, does the graphs for you. Yep. So yeah. So get me your predictions about who you think, which are your top 4 picks that will go through to the Qatar 2022. It's very early. We're going to be following this in March. We're starting off with match day number 1 predictions. We'll go through it team by team, look at the numbers, previous records, and all that kind of stuff. We will look at that, and we'll keep an eye on it throughout the season. Then we'll revisit this come November 2021. That's right. So we got a bit to run on this bad boy. But will it happen? Will it happen? Well, we'll have to wait and see, folks. But that, my friends, is all I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. If you're new, smash the subscribe. Plenty of videos on the channel. Make sure you check them suckers out. Yeah, smash the thumbs up. give this video a bit of loving because it's got a long way to go. It's got a 2-year shelf life before the World Cup comes around. Also, check out the old description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there. Twitter, Facebook, they're all in there, boys and girls. And, of course, Patreon. If you want to become a patron of the channel, big supporter, help me boost the content in the next couple of seasons, because the next couple of seasons is World Cup year, and we want to take this soccer to another level with your support, and that'll be absolutely tip-top. Until then, though, give me your thoughts and predictions about the South American qualification phase. We're going to take a look at Asia and Africa a little bit later on. We'll do the same early door predictions, and then we'll come and keep it up to date as the games come thick and fast. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Bang the thumbs up, bang the subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.